Welcome back to the OE Tightvac coffee storage sessions. I'm Doug.
I'm Barb.
And together we're Orphan Espresso, and obviously we're here to talk about Tightvac. Now, Justin at Tightvac, he pretty much is a really responsive guy. At first, this particular line over here, this was developed as their coffee storage line. And originally, he had a 12-ouncer, and he had a 6-ouncer. People say, hey, we want a pounder. They sell coffee in pounds. He comes out with the pound. Then, what if makes sense? Half a pound. Then, if that's not good enough, 1 ounce. Brown tops, brown black tops, etc., etc. Now that's just the product, but let's just look at how these work. What we like in these canisters is, and canisters in general, is we like them to work. We like them to be effective. We like them to be economical, and we like them to be convenient. Those are the 3 C's. And so, anyway.
One of those was an E.
One was an E, well maybe 2 were E's. Well, there are 3 E's and one's a C. But we have, in this case, this is the reason for the name, Tightvac. The only way to get the lid off is to push the button and pull the lid. Put the lid on the same way. The lid can't come off. It can't fail. And no smell. That means nothing gets out, nothing gets in. If you think back to part 1, we don't want oxygen in there. We don't want water vapor in there. We don't want moisture in there. So this basically creates a foolproof, very easy to lock in seal. This is not a vacuum canister in the sense that you suck the air out of it. If you suck the air out of it, you basically accelerate the process of the coffee aging. You're going to suck the good stuff right out of the coffee. You really don't want to do that. All you want to do is have a good airtight barrier. This doesn't fail. Ziploc bags can fail. Screw-on lids can fail. You can put them on so tight that you can't even get it off. And so, really a nice system. Now, there's certain special things that you can do with Tightvacs, and you can basically, it has to do with volume. Now, when we first get our coffee, we buy it by the pound. Put it in a pounder. And we know exactly pretty much how much coffee we're going to drink in a particular day, which is a little less than this. It seems like a lot, but we go from our pounder into our 6-ouncer. We're going to drink about 6 ounces, perhaps 4, have a little left over, go into this. Now, what this does is basically the fewer times you open the lid, the more stable your coffee is going to be. You've hit your 3 to 5 days post-roast. It's very happy. It's just like you like it. You tried it and it tastes great. Now you want it to stay that way. So you put it in the pounder. If you keep opening and closing this, there goes more oxygen, more of it, more moisture, more relative humidity every time you open it. You want to reduce the number of times you open the canister, and it will stay very stable. That lengthens the sweet spot of the coffee, let's call it. This period between 3 to 5 days post-roast and when it's gotten tired, let's say 12 to 15 days, when it's really lost all of its spark. But you want to lengthen that time. You want to be able to go back to your coffee and to say, even though you stuck this in there, you received it by post, by UPS brought it, you went down to the store, you put this in here at 3 to 5 days post-roast. You want to just kind of slow down this clock. The fewer times you open it, the less moisture goes in. So, there's all kinds of logical extensions to this then. You come in, you say, well, what's this? 1 ounce. This is 4 7-gram espressos, 2 14-gram espressos, 1 ounce. If you want to, you take your 16-ounce bag of coffee, you throw it into 16 of these. Let's say, you know how much you drink. Do you drink 2 shots a day? There's your 2 shots per day. Right there. Now, as I said, that's kind of our rule of thumb. Whoa, there went a Vitabic. Okay, that's kind of our rule of thumb here. We want to open, the fewer times you open a canister, the more stable your beans and the longer they're going to last. We're going to go through the entire pound at this rate per day. We're going to go through the entire pound before we hit that window and approach any staleness. But as a testimonial, I would say that since we've been using Tightvacs, we have had no stale coffee. And we've have had the enjoyment of having a coffee that's 14 days post-roast and is still pretty decent in espresso. Still makes good crema. Crema have to have fresh coffee. And as long as you've got crema, you know your beans are still alive. Now, all kinds of different angles that you can take here. You have color coding. Now, there's the freshest, it's cooler, it's green and good to go. You can color code this particular little guy here. He holds about a ½ ounce of beans. This is about 1 espresso shot in that little guy there. Now, if you want to black out, whoa, that's a nice thing. They're unbreakable. You want to black out, you don't want any light to get to it. If you do feel that UV is one of the big enemies of coffee or anything, there's your blackout in all the sizes. Once again, but you can't see the quantity of beans. So, sunglasses. There you go, you can see how many beans, you can see what the quantity is. And once again, screen out the UV light. These are also available in brown. You want to talk about an innovation. 5-pounder right here. 5 pounds of coffee. If you're a roaster, if you want to really be ecologically conscious, not use any bags, not use any plastic, you know, these are recyclable. You take these to your customer, you stock up on a few of these things, just like milk jugs in the old days, just like the old glass milk jugs. Very, very nice, the 5-pounder. I do like this one a lot because we're starting to buy larger quantities. The price of good coffee is going up, but you get a little discount when you buy 5 pounds or more at some places, and so very, very handy, especially if you drink a lot of coffee or if you have a small shop. Now, excuse me, there's something that I do really like about the Tightvacs, and I have a tendency to do my own blending, and if I can find it here somewhere, I have a special, alright, these are specially prepared white coffee beans. Now I find my other one. Let's say I'm blending. I want to take a little Brazil that has some nice chocolates in it, and then I want to take add some nice fruit. I got my seasoning, and put it just like that, and I end up with a nice blend. You know, it's fairly uniform in there. It takes really no special contraptions. It does no V-shaped dry blender or anything like that. You know, just a few shakes, and I got a good blend there. Tightvac, they're really good canisters. They're economical. You can design your own system. One of these, take it to work. Nobody will smell it, so they won't be bumming off of you and coming into your cube and trying to get it from you. And it makes 2 nice, strong cups of coffee if you use a dripper. And so I would just like to finish up by saying that if you care about coffee, if you buy fresh coffee, keep it fresh. Keep it stable. It's going to go through its life cycle. It's going to age. It's going to die. If you see a roast date on that bag of coffee, you know that the roaster cares, and you know that you can follow that coffee through. You can say, boy, that was good on the 5th day post-roast, and it was great on the 7th day post-roast, and I even liked it on the 10th, but I think that, well, it's kind of tapering off. It's your hobby, it's fun, it's great to observe and enjoy, but it's also good to have a good, stable coffee system for storage, and here we are. We're in the world of Tightvac. Thank you very much, and I'll tell you what, you've bared with us, you've stuck with us for 2 videos. I want to invite you inside and have a cup of coffee. We'll show you how we run our own personal system. Thank you a lot.